Hi guys, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. I am on because I have in front of me the August Whichcraft Do You Do freebies. Now these are available for you in the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group, which I'll link down below. So head on over and join the group if you'd like to access these, and that way you can show us what you make with them and see what everyone else has been making with them. They also will be available on Whichcraft Do You Do's website next month. If you want to get in on the fun this month, then head on over to the group to join in. So heaps of fun. It's 2 pages again. It's this one with these gorgeous mushrooms, butterflies, bugs, and little flowers and leaves, and little specimen cards and that. It's just gorgeous. And the lovely Kerry did do a video where she made some different clusters and that sort of thing with the kit. I'll try and remember to link that down below for you as well. Go and check that out. And a few people have made some awesome things with these already in the group, which has been great to see. So I thought I would print it out and have a play. Since it's the start of the month, I'll get a jump on things and get it done early. Got a few ideas, so we will get into it. But yep, so that's page number 1, which I've printed out twice so far. And then this is the second page. So it's an ombre effect on this sort of wood grain background. Very interesting. So, all right, so I've got some fussy cutting to do, and then I'll be back to try and make something with you guys. So I have backed the wood grain paper from the kit onto some green scrap paper there, and just die cut a window out of that piece and a slide out of another piece. And I've got the bugs here, which I printed out twice. And I've just got some, they're just cheap gel pens. I wanted glitter pens, so I'm using a blue glitter pen on the glue bug just to add some highlights. And then I wanted green, but I didn't have green in the glitter pen, so I'm grabbing a metallic pen. I really didn't like the way this looked too much, but I thought I would continue on with it and see how it turned out in the end. So again, just adding a few highlights on the shell there. Just cheap Kmart gel pens, those. And then I'm fussy cutting out just the top of the bug, the shell piece there of both the bugs. So I'm going to layer that on top of the other one, just to add a bit of dimension. So I cut 2 pieces out for this to make a sort of journaling card, and the back piece is that green paper, and it has the wood grain on the back of it. So I decided to cut the word specimen off of the top of the little specimen card, because it will make my little specimen fit in the window better, and I can use specimen as a title for the journal card instead. I ink around the edges of the inside of the window and of the little specimen card. I'm just using black ink there, or the black soot. So I decided that I wanted a bit of stamping behind the bug, because it looks a bit plain, so I've just got my text stamp there. I think I'm using ground espresso. I must have rubbed that stamp pad over a stamp, and it loosened up all the fabric on the stamp pad, so all these big clunks of fabric with ink came off onto my stamping. So I just lifted them off with the tweezers, or else I'd just smudge everywhere. Did smudge a little bit. Wasn't quite enough text there on the edges, so I just added a bit more with the stamp. And that looks a bit better. So I've got my wood chopping board. I like to use that when I'm doing heat embossing. Got my clear Versamark, it's a watermark pad, that one. And I've just got some of my Sizzix clear embossing powder. I'm just pressing the bug down onto the Versamark pad a fair bit to make sure it's completely covered with ink, and then tipping the embossing powder on top to get good coverage. And I'm just heat embossing that. I love watching it change from powder and hardening up like that. Looks really cool. So I just did that one first as a tester to see if it was going to work for me, because I didn't have as much luck with it last time I tried it, but it worked really well this time. So I grabbed my blue bug, which is my favourite, and embossed that as well. Yeah, it blew away a few times. So then once they were completely sort of cooled down and dried, I just glued them onto the top of the other bug. Looks really cool. So I decide to stick my window part on the background first, and then I can get the placement of my bug specimen in the window where I want it a bit easier. Trimming down the edges that are sticking out a bit. And of course, ink around the edges. And there were heaps of these labels, specimen labels to choose from, so I just picked the one that I thought would look the best and ink around that to put on the bottom there. Fits perfectly, which is lucky because I didn't measure the actual card for any size, so lucky everything sort of fit good. Got a bit of Whichcraft Do You Do's beautiful dyed cheesecloth there that I'm backing the card onto. And just stick that down, and the little specimen word up the top. Nice and simple, but love it. Love seeing the wood grain of the printable on that one. So I've got my slide here. I'm going to stick my bug underneath that. So again, I cut the word specimen off the top just so that my bug fits in there a bit better, and then I can stick that down. Just got to make sure I get the placement pretty good in there. Then I can stick my slide together. Then I wanted the specimen word up the top for that one as well, but it's a little long. Not quite sure where I want to put it. I did cut it down and it would have fit okay. But I had an idea to go through the smaller little labels that came with the digital. I found one that fits on the bottom there nicely. Again, I just use a bit of the gorgeous cheesecloth underneath. Then I hunted through the rest of the bigger labels because I remembered that some of them had the word specimen on there as well, and I thought maybe one of those would fit better up the top. Still messing around with that big one and realised that it just didn't fit the way I wanted it to. And so that one has the word specimen there and it just fits perfectly. So I decided to cut that one off, ink around it. And that's my slide finished. I might put an eyelet in there with the ball chain at some stage if I feel like it. And then I've got this little bit that came out of the window that I die cut on the journal card. So I decided that I might as well use one of the mushrooms and butterflies and one of the number labels on that, and just make a little journaling card with that. I'm very much enjoying seeing what everyone else is making with the freebies in each month. I thought it needed one more leaf here, and there were some loose leaves in the kit, so I thought I'd grab one of those to add to it, make it look like a little bush down there. I just stuck two of the leaves down so that I could fit that fourth leaf underneath the middle leaf a bit, and I think I wanted to put that label underneath a bit as well, I think, and sort of tuck it in, and then I can stick that last leaf down. So I wanted the butterfly on there, but I didn't want to have to tuck it behind or over the top of anything. So I decided if I put it going off the card a bit, that I could just trim the wing off, and that would look all right. And a real simple journaling card. And I can back them all in the future if I want writing space on them. Bit of ink around everything, and they are all finished. So that is my project for August, using the August freebies from Whichcraft Do You Do. So I was going to do a whole lot more, but that took long enough, so I think I will stop there. So we've got our specimen card here, which can be used as a journaling card. Might have to put a stamp there. I might do a coffee stain. I think I got a bit of glue on my finger and it picked up just a tiny bit of the digital print there, because it's very white and just a little dot, which is annoying me. So I might do a coffee stain stamp. That'll cover that up nicely and it'll look pretty cool. And that will be that one finished. I was going to sew around them, but they don't really need it. And I'm still in the process of setting up my sewing table out in the kitchen area. So there's my bug with the embossed. I love how the embossing turned out, because it's sort of dimpled, which looks like the texture should be on the bug. So it's very, very cool. And you can sort of see some of the gel pen underneath, but it's actually made this one look better. Because this one, the gel pen didn't look very good, because it wasn't really a glitter one. It was a metallic, and didn't really go too well, but I persevered, and that's turned out quite nicely. So yes, I didn't bother putting windows in my specimen cards because I want to be able to see the embossing properly. So just leave it like that. On the back, I might put some old book page as a journaling spot. That will work well. And then we've got our little slide. And that one turned out awesome. I love that. Even with the gel pen, because it was a glitter one, it's worked really, really nicely. And the embossing topped it off really well. So that turned out cool. So really cool little labels they've given us as well. I was able to cut the word specimen off the top of one of the labels, and I think that looks better. Fits nicely up there. Again, I might put some old book page on the back and make it a journaling spot. It would look nice with a dangle as well. I might put a ball chain thing through an eyelet on this one later when I find them. Otherwise, that's looking pretty cool. And then this is the die cut piece that came out of the window there when I cut that. And I didn't want to waste that, of course, so I thought I would just put some of the leaves and a mushroom and one of the butterflies on that. So I've still got flowers and lots of leaves and labels left over that I can play with in the future, but I think this will do for now for a bit of a play this month. So I'm really happy with those. And again, I could probably just leave that as is. That's not too bad as a journaling spot. So that was heaps of fun. So thank you again to Kerry and Renee and the Mother Load for the awesome freebie this month. So take care, be good, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.